Hey everyone, this is Will and Noah here from Low Rated Duelists, and today we are here to talk about a certain card that has had a substantial impact on the meta, and that card is Dimensional Barrier. For those of you who are potentially unaware of what this card does, it is a normal trap card that states, declare one monster card type, now this can be Ritual, Fusion, Synchro Xyz, or Pendulum. For the rest of its turn, neither player can special summon monsters of the declared type, also negate the effects of all monsters of that type while they are on the field. You can only activate one dimensional barrier per turn. Now, we know this is a good card. We know just by reading it that it's a great card. But is it hit worthy? Meaning, does this card deserve to be semi-limited, limited, or even potentially banned? So before we get into, yes, axe it or no, it's okay, let's think about the impact it could have on the upcoming format. So pretty much for the upcoming format, the relevant decks that appear to be, the ones that are, will take the cake, obviously Zodiacs, potentially DDD, although I'm kind of 50-50 on that one. They might have arrived in TCG too late to be like, the best deck. Possibly Lawn Mowing Infernoids. Eidolon Artifact has also been hyped. ABC, with its still at full power, I think can still be good at contention. BAPK Fire is still around. There's also Metal Foe, in addition to frogs and stuff like that. And then possibly some sleepers like Blue Eyes, Mermail, Cosmo, Heroes, and potentially even Fluffles, depending on when their support comes out. So when you think about the impact that this card has on those decks, this card literally shuts out probably all but two of those decks single-handedly. So I've got Noah here to also discuss the potential of this card. So Noah, I want your opinion on whether this card is hit worthy and or if not. If it can just remain at 3 and just, player, stuff like that.
Well, first of all, before I answer that, when I first read this card's effect the first time, I sat there in my chair at my computer, eyes wide, mouth gaping, like, whoa, this card is super good.
Same.
And I was like, let's get some hype for Dimensional Barrier because this card is good. And that's pretty much exactly what it's doing. And I think it's going to continue to do that even into the next format. With like Zodiacs being released and everything.
Right.
But as far as this card being hit, I don't think it's hit worthy. I don't think they should hit it because it's like I feel like this card should be given the Solemn Strike treatment, where it's like the card's great, everyone knows it's good, everybody uses it, but it needs to continue to remain at 3 because it's such a good check for like those decks that like would otherwise would just destroy the competition, just run over everything.
Right.
I feel like this card stops that, and I feel like it's healthy for the direction the format is going in with Zodiacs and all that nonsense. And so yeah, I think it should stay at 3 personally.
Right. So when you think about the impact of this card against those decks, Zodiacs are pretty much all Xyz based. So flipping this and declaring Xyz will shut them down for a turn. And like we discussed in like previous videos, a turn nowadays in Yu-Gi-Oh is like an eternity. Like if you lose one turn in Yu-Gi-Oh, you're pretty much almost guaranteed to lose the duel. And this is potentially what this card can do. And normally, I've always been kind of against those cards. Like I've always said, if a card can single-handedly win you a duel, which Dimensional Barrier obviously can do, I've always thought they were too powerful. Because if you flip this against Zodiacs, declare Xyz, they're done. For a turn at least, which we said a turn is all you need. DDD,
Sure.
declare Fusion, they're done for a turn. Lawn Mowing Infernoids, not so much. Eidolon Artifact, maybe like Fusion. ABC, you could declare Xyz, and they can't get Tsukiyomi, and then they're done for a turn. Metal Foe, Pendulum, they're done for a turn. Blue Eyes, they can still summon beaters. Mermail doesn't really affect them. Heroes substantially affects them. Doesn't really affect Cosmo. BAPK Fire, if you could declare Xyz against them, they'll just sit there with like small monsters with nothing. And then even toads, like frogs, declared Xyz. They're done for a turn too. To where this card can single-handedly win a duel. But I also want to talk about the decks that it's going to be most utilized and like most efficiently utilized in. Because some of those decks that we just talked about really can't afford to main deck these traps because it slows their own engine down. For example, DDD. I don't know if anybody is actually main decking Dimensional Barrier in DDD because they're.
I'm definitely not. I don't know of anyone else that really. Um, DDD can main. I've seen some builds main deck traps, but I've seen like the archetype specific like dark contract trap cards.
Simply because of being
I've
searchable.
seen strikes and things like that, but I've never really seen dimensional barriers in DDD. So
If they could, I feel like if a deck can afford to run it without slowing themselves down, they should be, because this card is broken. But when you think about Zodiacs and you think about ABC, those are decks that literally rely on 1 to 2 cards to get their engine going, to where they can run as many traps they want because they can do it because the reason why they're consistent because they need 1 card versus 2 cards. So ABC and Zodiacs are automatically going to be really good decks because of this 1 card, Dimensional Barrier. Now, granted, they'll have to be going first and everything like that, but because they can afford to run this card without slowing down their engine. Oh, man. It's just when you discuss about whether this card should be hit or not, it's just when you read it, you're like, whoa. Like, whoa. But at the same time, I kind of agree with you that I don't see it being hit worthy. I don't. Now, granted, I know others completely disagree because Yu-Gi-Oh is so monster based now because decks don't really have to run necessarily back row because their monsters do all their stuff for them. We have monsters that can negate monster effects. We have monsters that can negate spells and traps. To where, why run those cards, back row that does that when your monsters do it for you? To where this, like you said, this card keeps those decks in check. Now, we'll see, because a lot of individuals are saying that this upcoming format is going to be decided by 1, who goes first, and 2, who draws Dimensional Barrier first. So if it's a card that can single-handedly determine a format, you could consider it being hit worthy. However, I'm kind of like you on this one. I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines, waiting to see what it does. We could just be overhyping this thing. Like, that is like a instant, thing that we could just be overhyping it. But a lot of people...
I mean, on the same token, it's not often that you just read a card and you're just like, holy crap, like this card is amazing.
Right.
Like, I mean, cards come out almost 3-4 times a week we hear about new cards coming out, and we're someone like, it's
and
okay,
we're like, meh,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this card, when it came out, I was just like, wow, this card is insane.
When I read it, I was like, oh my god, like that is going to turn off decks for an entire turn. And like we said, if you get turned off for an entire turn, you're going to lose. So I guess, yeah, I'm with you. I don't want to hit this card. I don't think it's hit worthy, not even like semi-limited. However, before overreacting or saying anything about it, we should see how it actually impacts the format. We're just kind of speculating right now. However, I would like to know the viewer's point of view. Do you guys think that Dimensional Barrier is hit worthy, semi-limited, limited, or even banned? Please post in the comments with justifications. This is just a discussion video to talk about this 1 card. And also, I would like to know, do you guys actually think that the format is going to be determined by this 1 card? If so, just post in the comments. And then also feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. We thoroughly appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good day.